don't know what it is with Greta Thunberg. Why is she still even a thing? You would think that 15 minutes would be done, and it kind of is. But there's a whole thing now where she just gets arrested by the police, but it's not real. And it's obviously not real. But it doesn't matter in 2023 because nothing is real. Everything is fake. And it could even be blatantly fake. But it doesn't matter. The people that want to believe will believe. The people that never would believe don't believe, regardless of how realistic or unrealistic it is. And we've seen Greta getting carried away by the police in the past. They carried her around and then put her down, didn't cuff her, didn't just let her talk to the media. Here it is again. They almost do a perp walk where they're carrying her around so the cameras can see her, and then they just put her down. Like, she's not cuffed.
They didn't take away that object that could poke them.
Yeah,
You know,
and they're parading her around the media. The cameras are everywhere to video her being carried. What did she do? Is she protesting somewhere you're not supposed to? So now, all right, they must be taking her to a cell, I guess, somewhere where she could be locked up because she's a danger to. Wait, they're putting her down, probably to put the cuffs on easier. And well, but now she's walking away.
She got up with a smile and just dusted her butt off.
And just started walking away. This is a press moment. This is a camera, like parade around and go, look, we'll carry Greta around so people could get pictures of Greta being carried around by the cops, and you could write your own headline. Greta Thunberg arrested. Police toting her away, carrying her away. Young girl assaulted by the police. And then there's video of it. So we see what happens. They put her down. She gets up, smiles. Someone comes over, pats her on the back, and they leave. Whatevs. Such is the world we live in, folks. Such is the world. Nothing makes sense anymore. There's nothing real. I don't know. I think I crossed the line now where I think everything I see is fake. The AI kind of shit is getting too good. And so when I see someone say something, or I heard that someone made a statement, or I just go, I don't know. I can't be sure of anything anymore. So I don't believe anything. But that's fine too. I was cynical at heart anyway, so good. Don't know. What is this? David Hogg is retarded. David Hogg, he's the anti-gun guy that was somewhere in the same state as a school shooting. I believe he was within the blast radius of a thermonuclear device to a school that did have a shooting in it. And he has been the voice and face of school shootings because he's shoehorned his way in there. Everything I've read and seen and heard, he wasn't in that school. He was not in the school. He has given statements to the effect of, I heard about the shooting, got on my bike, and rode to the school. But, you listen to him or anyone, and he was right there in the thick of it, looking death in the face. And now his mission in life is to spew nonsense, uneducated bullshit about guns, the gun industry, self-defense, the Second Amendment. And he does. He spouts some bullshit. Let's see, David Hogg. Here it is. Here's what he thinks. And I'm glad they put a little disclaimer thing on here, because up until Elon Musk took over Twitter, this would have gone as just his post without anything. You have no right to a gun. All right. You are not a militia. When you're talking about your Second Amendment rights, you are talking about a state's right to have what is today the National Guard. The modern interpretation of Second Amendment is ridiculous fraud pushed for decades by the gun lobby. So he's saying that the Second Amendment, because it has the word militia in it, that you have to be in a militia, which is the National Guard, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, in order to bear arms. Isn't that directly the opposite of what the Second Amendment is for? Because again, it's so the public, the general public, the citizens can defend against state tyranny. Now, that would be on a federal or a state level. If your state decided to put down a public uprising as to how the state was being run, why would the National Guard have an amendment in the Constitution, in the Bill of Rights, that says they're allowed to bear arms? Well, of course they are. That goes without saying. They're part of the military. They are the military. The Second Amendment is so people, citizens, can take up arms against the military if needed. That argument has never made any sense. And when you read the Second Amendment, it says that a militia being necessary, the militia is necessary for a free state. You need the ability to muster people. A militia was the citizenry. Your state citizens would muster together and form a militia to fight for the state, themselves, their town, whatever it might be. So because a militia is necessary for people to protect their freedom, an armed population is necessary. You can't muster a militia with people going, well, now where do we get our guns? We have a militia. We need to fight against the army or a foreign invader or whatever it might be. And we formed our militia. Yay. Oh, shit, we don't have guns. Well, we need guns. Yeah. Well, that's why a militia being necessary, as the Second Amendment says, the people's right to bear arms shall not be infringed, because you need an armed populace to form the militia, which is necessary in a free society to preserve your free society. How anyone twists and bastardizes this for their own needs, and how anyone says it's worded so vaguely and weird, those are only people that want it infringed upon. They're the only people that can't fucking understand plain English and what this means when read verbatim, what the intent was. An armed population. The people and their right to bear arms shall not be infringed, because you can't muster a militia with people that don't have guns. Are you going to throw rocks? They knew this. The National Guard. That's the army. The people the militia is supposed to be fighting if some type of tyrannical government takes over. It's an insult to everybody. David Hogg's an insult. It's an insult to the forefathers, to the Constitution, gun owners, American citizens, taxpayers. It's just insulting to say that it's the fucking military That's what the Second Amendment is for. So the military can bear arms. It makes no sense. Makes no fucking sense. And the other thing that makes no sense is, well, it was written when there were muskets. They could never see the AR-15, the full automatic AR-15 machine gun that you could buy at 7-Eleven with a Slurpee without a background check. Ah, okay. All right. How about the forefathers writing up the Bill of Rights and writing that Second Amendment, and people going, well, they, wrote it during the muskets. They only had muskets, so they meant, you should have muskets. Really? You don't think that during their lifetime, during the time they were children, watching their fathers and grandfathers hunt, protect their homes, whatever it is, you don't think from that time, when they first saw guns, and children back then knew and were exposed to and learned how to shoot and learned about guns at a very young age. That was how it was. That's how you ate, motherfucker. So you don't think that the forefathers, from the time they hunted and shot with their grandfathers and fathers, saw any type of improvement in firearm technology? You don't think from the time they were kids to the time they wrote that Second Amendment that no advancements had been made in firearms? From the early flintlocks to the wick that used to have to burn in the hammer and powder in the pan and all that, to an actual cartridge and a pistol. And these are things that they had seen over time. Why the fuck do you think they would imagine that all firearm technology would stop when they wrote that Second Amendment? And that 200 or so years in the future, they would have just meant a musket, because that's what they had seen. It's unreasonable to imagine that. It's goddamn ridiculous. And then you could put it on the First Amendment, that people standing up on that proverbial soapbox in the middle of the town, spouting some rhetoric, or a newspaper, a printed newspaper, putting opinions and news out to people. That was going to be it? So are you saying that electronic delivery of information on radio, television, emails, social media, satellites, that isn't covered because they couldn't imagine your freedom of speech getting out, one man saying something, giving an opinion, getting out to that many people at one time? They might have deemed that as dangerous as something that's shot faster than a musket. One person has the ability to speak to millions right now at the same time? Well, we can't have a First Amendment then. It was only made for newspaper, maybe, that's handed out in a town, or one guy speaking at a beer hall or something. It's ridiculous to imagine that these people thought everything ended when they wrote up the Bill of Rights. But David Hogg, what do I know? He's the best. He knows more than we ever will. Jeff, what's up?
I was going to mention David Hogg's, I believe his father's an FBI agent.
Is he? Because
you should have been raised a lot better.
I've heard so many things, and that's what happens. You hear some conspiracy theories. So then when you shit on the legitimate stuff that David Hogg is saying, like I just did, I just shit on everything he said, they lump me in the category of people that said his dad's an FBI agent. He's a crisis actor. He's this, he's that. Like, I don't know. What I do know is his statement about the Second Amendment is bullshit. And I talk about
100%.
that. But they love putting these things out there because then they can discredit anyone that criticizes David Hogg. It's the same thing with Greta Thunberg. They've done the same shit with making these people untouchable, in that they try to make the people criticizing them look crazy by lumping them in with the conspiracies about these people. But I don't know. Hey, maybe he is. Maybe his dad was an FBI
Well, they call
agent.
you that anyway, whether you say it or not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a conspiracy
You can't
or a
get away
gun
from it.
nut, or I want kids to get killed in a school. It's all the same. It's all the same. Thank you, Jeff. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. David Hogg, indeed. My Hogg.